And this is Brian Andrews live in Washington, D.C. Two major developments tonight in the Elian Gonzalez case. First, the Justice Department letter going out to the family. It's going out tomorrow, and we've learned it tells them to bring Elian to Opa-locka Airport Thursday to surrender him. Secondly, Janet Reno has now canceled her trip to Miami tomorrow. I'll have all the latest details in a live report from Washington straight ahead.
All right, Brian, we'll look forward to talking to you. I'm Rick Sanchez.
And I'm Lori Jennings. This is 7 News at 10.
Now, live from the news station. This is 7 News at 10.
The night team is live in Little Havana, where tonight the family is on the verge of getting official instructions on how Elian Gonzalez will be transferred into the custody of his father.
And the night team also in Coconut Grove tonight, where once again hundreds of people are praying for a miracle and praying for a mother whose dying wish, it seems, will not come true. Good evening again, everyone. We have confirmed at this point that the transfer of Elian Gonzalez will take place Thursday at Opa-locka Airport, but the family will not get official notification of that until tomorrow.
This, as family members tell 7 News exclusively tonight that their resolve has not wavered and that they will do everything in their power to keep the boy, quote, from returning to Fidel Castro.
Let's get right out live now to start our night team coverage with Craig Stevens in Little Havana. Craig.
Well, time is clearly running out, as you would indicate. Still lawyers for the family. They're continuing efforts in the state and the federal court level. But as we've mentioned, the Justice Department is moving full steam ahead, finalizing plans to reunite father and son. Meanwhile, as we heard tonight, the family is not yet prepared to give up. Elian was all smiles in his family's front yard on a day of last-ditch efforts to stop what appears increasingly inevitable. The boy's uncle, eager for an audience with Attorney General Janet Reno, and she is reportedly mulling over a South Florida visit to meet with the family, perhaps Elian as well, though the likelihood this meeting might resolve anything appears slim. Justice officials insist a Reno meeting would not stop efforts to reunite the boy with his father. To that end, formal written notification to the family is expected at any time. And in a conversation with Rick Sanchez, Lázaro Gonzalez says he's resolute, that the law is on his side, and that he's not prepared to give up. Exile leaders who've toned down promises of civil unrest in recent days wonder the point of any such meeting if Reno is not open to changing her mind. But
I think dialogue is the first step. Goodwill also is necessary, and if we are truly interested in and concerned about the well-being of Elian Gonzalez, I think the best resolution for this conflict would be a family resolution.
the Miami family is anxious to keep this in the family. Lázaro Gonzalez suggesting Tuesday Elian's father sit down with him and the boy at a neutral South Florida location, the home of Barry University's president, for example, site of the visit between the boy and his grandmothers. The family only seeks a guarantee Elian would not be whisked away, for them never to see him again. No indication of any such meeting that would involve Elian's father coming here. And as far as these late developments that we're just now learning of here at the Gonzalez family home, that the Attorney General apparently will not be coming to South Florida, that may well be because of the problem outlined in the story there. The Attorney General is saying, look, I'll come down and sit down with you, but I'm not about to change my mind. And the Miami relatives saying they would want that meeting to be an opportunity to try to get through to Janet Reno to persuade them to their way of thinking. So we'll have to sample reaction here. Some additional members of the Exile leadership have arrived here at the location, and as we get any more information about this story, which is constantly changing, we'll get back with you. Right now we're live in Little Havana. Craig Stevens, 7 News Night Team.
All right, Craig, and from you, we're going to take it now to the Night Team's Brian Andrews. He is in our nation's capital.
Brian, let's get back to that major development there. Janet Reno canceling her trip to South Florida. How are you interpreting that from there?
Well, it's really unclear at this point. We just got this news about 10 minutes ago from the Justice Department. We're being told that for unspecified problems, the Attorney General will most likely not make the trip to Miami in the morning. And then we were told about the other development, which is the letter. The Miami family was supposed to receive a letter this evening from the Justice Department, a letter that Janet Reno had said herself that she wanted to get out tonight. However, the letter is in its final draft form, and we have learned tonight that it instructs Elian Gonzalez's Miami family to surrender the child at Opa-locka Airport on Thursday morning. The INS has used the Coast Guard Air Station at Opa-locka Airport before in the Elian Gonzalez case. It was the location where Elian's grandmothers landed in South Florida on the day they visited with the boy at Sister Jean O'Loughlin's home in Miami Beach. Justice Department officials say Thursday morning at Opa-locka Airport is the time and place of the transfer of custody, according to a draft of the letter to be sent to the Miami family. Meantime, Justice Department officials say Attorney General Janet Reno would go to Miami to meet face-to-face with Elian's South Florida family, but that the meeting in Miami would not have any impact on the time and date and whereabouts of the custody transfer already in the works. On that issue, Washington Attorney Greg Craig, who represents Elian's father, met with Janet Reno at the Justice Department Monday afternoon. She also met with Miami-Dade Mayor Alex Pinellas and Miami Mayor Joe Carollo, who urged her to use her influence to bring both sides together for a private family meeting.
We all agreed that this is an issue really that should be decided between them, between family members. They should sit down at a table, they should see eye to eye, face to face, and discuss what's in the best interests of Elian Gonzalez, and it should be them only.
Let the families decide between themselves without any outside interference, any outside pressure, no cash to security agents, says family.
Elian's father, Juan Miguel Gonzalez, met with the Reverend Joan Brown Campbell, the former head of the National Council of Churches. She said that he's looking forward to having a hot dog with his son once they're reunited, and that he's very worried about his son while in the care of the Miami relatives.
He's very much responding like a father who will see his son soon, and he's not making grand plans. He wants very much to hold him. It's very frustrating to see his image on television and not be able to touch him, especially when he's so close.
And we understand that Juan Miguel also told the Reverend Joan Brown Campbell that in his opinion, based on what he's seen on television, that Elian looks thin. Now, we again are reporting tonight that Janet Reno has canceled her trip. This is according to Justice Department officials. She is highly unlikely going to travel to Miami tomorrow because of some unforeseen complications, problems, as Justice Department officials call them. And this letter that was supposed to go out tonight will most likely go out in the morning. And we are told that in the final draft, it does say and instructs the Miami family to turn over Elian to the INS at Opa-locka Airport on Thursday morning. So, Rick and Lori, it does appear that this thing is coming to a head rather quickly. We're live in Washington. I'm Brian Andrews, 7 News Night Team. All
right, you're reporting the transfer Thursday at Opa-locka Airport. Do we know at this point if that transfer will involve the boy's father? In other words, will Juan Miguel be flying to Opa-locka Airport?
Still unclear at this point, although in the past, Juan Miguel Gonzalez has said that he believes the U.S. government should bring his son to him here in Washington. He's staying in Bethesda, and he has told several people that he would like his son delivered to him. He hasn't, though, ruled out the possibility of traveling to any city in the United States, as he said in the past, to have that reunion with Elian.
So the transfer could either happen in South Florida or in D.C., Brian, and now the family will only have, by the time they get that letter, about 24 hours notice.
Well, again, it would appear that the end game in this is still up in the air, whether Juan Miguel actually travels to Opa-locka for that reunion or whether this is merely a handoff of the child and the child is delivered here to Washington. We're just going to have to find out about that on Thursday.
Does anyone at Justice say tonight that they have indeed, or feel confident that they have enlisted the cooperation of the family in Miami? In other words, that they're going to go along with the plan?
No, we haven't heard that yet.
All right, 7's Brian Andrews with a lot of details for us. Thank you.
Well, while the family and Attorney General Janet Reno prepare for what could possibly still be a showdown, hundreds of supporters of the Miami family are praying both for Elian and for his mother, who died at sea. The Night Team's Jeff Pegues is live now with a special mass, we understand, was held tonight in Coconut Grove. Jeff?
Rick, this was yet another opportunity for Cuban exiles in the South Florida community to come together. There was hardly a seat in the church behind me. The church sanctuary was packed with people who came here to pray for Elian and his mother.
As a Cuban, it's my duty to show support for this boy.
It is standing room only at the Shrine of Our Lady Charity. Cuban exiles gathering in prayer for Elian Gonzalez, his mother, and the countless others who've lost their lives trying to escape Cuba.
I'm also Pedro Pan.
Teresita Ayo is one who survived the escape as a child. She feels a special connection to 6-year-old Elian.
I am here to pray for Elian and to pray for his father. And I get emotional. I can't help it because I want his father to be here, to stay here and bring up that child in freedom. That's all we want.
It is something that is mentioned over and over again in prayers. This special service not only talks about the custody controversy, but also Elian's mother, Elizabeth Bertans, the woman who died on that doomed journey from Cuba.
I think that's the overwhelming point, that they're trying to make so many people trying to come over here for liberty, and it just can't be that easy just to send a child back like that.
And that is why Cuban exiles are here in large numbers. Much like on Monday night in Little Havana at a vigil there, many are hoping for divine intervention. As a reunion with Elian's father draws closer, that may be the only thing that could answer their prayers.
I think it's a first-degree felony to go ahead and just send this boy back just like that, because he's going to belong to the state.
The service here ended just a few minutes ago, and as those folks head home from the church sanctuary and hear the news that this is heading for a reunion on Thursday, it is clearly not the outcome that they were praying for here tonight. We're live in Coconut Grove. Jeff Pegues, 7 News 19.
All right, Jeff.
And clearly a pivotal week in the Elian Gonzalez custody battle. Here is what we expect will be the next developments. The South Florida family now expecting to receive a letter from the Justice Department outlining the process of how they are to hand over the boy to Juan Miguel Gonzalez. And that transfer, we have confirmed now, is set to take place on Thursday morning, the most likely location, Opa-locka Airport.
Also, U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno has canceled a planned trip to South Florida to meet with the family members here to discuss her concerns. Of course, you can keep it right here for the very latest developments. If anything happens throughout this newscast, we'll break in immediately, and we'll continue to follow the situation as the custody showdown comes to a head.
And a major story you saw earlier tonight on 7 News, a deadly crash on the Rickenbacker Causeway, and police calling it a possible case of drag racing. Tonight, they're on the lookout for a driver suspected of leaving that scene. And the night team's Diana Diaz is live from Jackson Memorial Hospital now, where one of the victims was taken, and she has the details from there. Diana?
That's right. This 21-year-old driver is in critical condition here at Jackson Memorial Hospital, surviving what police are calling a drag race that claimed the life of his passenger. The Rickenbacker Causeway reduced to one lane as investigators make sense of an afternoon accident witnesses say could have been avoided.
We had 2 cars, both Hondas, speeding along on the Rickenbacker Causeway at a pretty high rate of speed. It appeared to people looking on that they were possibly drag racing.
The alleged drag race heading westbound on the Rickenbacker when witnesses say this red Honda lost control, bouncing off a median wall and barreling across 3 lanes of traffic before slamming into a van pulled off on the side of the road.
We know that the other car, which is a 1992 to 94 metallic blue Honda of some sort, hatchback, stopped, came back, the passenger got out of the car, a woman, went back to check on the people in the red car to see if they were okay. When she determined that she could do nothing for them, she got back in her car and they sped away.
The 5 passengers in the van suffered only lacerations and bruises, but the passenger in the red Honda was killed. The driver of that car transported to the hospital in critical condition. The driver's aunt telling me 21-year-old Norman Vasquez underwent several hours of surgery, unable to talk about what happened and unsure if he knows his passenger is dead.
It seems like a senseless tragedy. It seems like speed and horseplay were the main factors here that caused someone to die.
And we are now getting late word that Miami police have located that blue Honda Civic they say left the scene of this crime. They are questioning a 27-year-old man but have not made any arrests, and they are also releasing the name of the victim that died in this accident. She is 17-year-old Fardia Estrada. Live in Miami, Diana Diaz, 7 News 19.
All right, Diana, here's another story we're following tonight. Flames shooting through the roof, leaving an elderly South Florida couple homeless. Fire breaking out along 1700 Northwest 16th Avenue. That's in Pompano Beach this afternoon. It started in a main hallway and then quickly spread. The couple's daughter arriving to see her parents' home of 40 years engulfed in flames.
First thing I did was ran to look for my mother and my father to make sure that they were out of the house and was okay. It can always be worse. They could have been bringing bodies out of the house, and that was what I was grateful for.